I ended up meeting a person one day, just out watching. I was watching football on a Sunday, and there was a woman who had a California San Diego Chargers jersey on, and I was from California, so we struck up a conversation. And it turned out she was running a company that was identical to what I was doing, but it was just her and a couple people. And so she was doing the same conference type sales, that sponsorships that I was doing in this like boiler room job. But she was doing it on her own, and she had a really good network. And I started to look into like the people she would have at her events, and they were all CMO of Best Buy, CMO of Nordstrom's, and like all the top people. And that's when I kind of realized there was an opportunity to make a move. And it wasn't going to happen just overnight. She was a small company, and so that became to me was my like a side project, where I knew it was an opportunity, but I wasn't jumping ship out of my full-time role necessarily. So she had a small office in the Hancock Tower in Chicago, and after work every day, I would go over there, and from like 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., I would do a lot of her admin stuff and just like plugging in data for her, and like slowly giving her like my feedback and my recommendations, offering to get on the phone for her and making calls. So I started like going, it became like a daily thing where I was going there every day after work, and I'd get home late. But I could see the big picture, and so I kept pushing through it. So I did that for about 6 months. And eventually she came to me and she was like, we've been doing this for 6 months. I want to extend a full-time role to you. The pay that she offered me was about 3 times what I was making at the time.
Wow.
So it was just a really cool opportunity, but it took just that know-how and like kind of the realization of an opportunity, and then just some extra sweat and equity. And I kind of learned at that time that my most valuable asset was time, and just being able to allocate time and pursue something like that.
Were you being paid for those evenings that you worked for 6 months?
No, it was unpaid.
That is
Yeah.
such an important thing to call out. That so many people that I work with, I'm like, volunteer somewhere, join an organization, work for free, build the brand, your personal brand, your experience, and get out there. But they're like, well, if I work for free, then I won't get paid. And I'm like, well, you're currently not getting paid because you're in the job search. So what are you going to do? Wait a year before you make any money? And so I think that's such an interesting perspective to have taken. And a leeway you've given yourself. It's almost like leaving more doors open, leaving more opportunities, or bringing more opportunities and putting them on the table. And so, and it paid off 3x, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you never got paid for that work. You just got paid after she hired you 6 months later.
It came back around. I think people, it comes down to like it's a fear thing again. And so not everybody's in a position to be able to do these things. Like I realized that I was fortunate enough to have a job that allowed for that type of flexibility to like fit it into my schedule. But I think it's a combination of like fear and ego. Ego is a big part. And if you're unable to really strip that down and be willing to do something that it's not where you want to be now, but if you can't put your ego aside and just do it in the interim, like you're not going to get there, kind of thing.